Isn't it cozy to sit back in a nice comfortable sweatshirt with a really good book? Hi, I'm Michael Everts. This is Fit to be Read. Today I'm talking about Nnedi Okorafor's Remote Control, and this is a cozy sweatshirt edition. What is a cozy sweatshirt edition? It just means that I'm going to sit back, be comfortable, and just talk about this book that I really enjoyed. I got this book a little less than a week ago. I tore through it. It took me maybe 2 days to read it. I did a review on it already online. I did a typical 5 likes and 5 dislikes review, but I wanted to sit back and just talk about this book, less structured, not as rigid as the 5 likes and 5 dislikes. I'm going to try to do this spoiler free because I don't want to ruin this for anybody. It's a really short book, and I think the premise of the book is pretty clear to those who pick it up if you've read anything about it. The idea is that we have this young girl living in Africa, and she has certain mystical traits about her. In the book, we find out how that comes to be, and to get a little bit deeper into it, she is living in Ghana. She is, at the beginning of the book, at a Christmas party, and we know her as Sankofa or Sankofa. I'm not sure the pronunciation of the name, but we meet her and she's in this house and all of the adults are very cautious around her. There's definitely a level of fear, and we are left to wonder what is this fear about, because we really don't know anything about her yet other than how other people are reacting to her. She requests clothing and food, and obviously to the people that are around her, the thing to do is to give her what she asked for. She comes across as very entitled, very confident, very sure of herself, and we find out later why that is. In the next chapter, we find out who she is and where she comes from. She is a 7-year-old girl when we first meet her, and she's, again, living in Ghana, and we know her as Fatima. So we find out very quickly why she is now called Sankofa and no longer referred to as Fatima. She has a somewhat of a companion, Movenpick, who is a fox, and we get to learn a little bit about that relationship, though it's never fully explained why there is a fox that follows her around. But we follow her as she wanders through Ghana, and she's on a sort of a mission. She has some interactions where she has conflicts that she has to deal with, which I guess sounds like any kind of story. I think I'm getting a little too much into trying to not give any spoilers. So let me just say this. She's in Ghana. The great thing about this book is that it's just really well written. The language is really wonderful. It's really beautiful. There's a page in here that I read in the other review. Let's see if I can get to it right away, because that would be great. And here it is. Listen to this paragraph. This one just like, I did this in the other video. It smacked me in the brain. Okay? I'm going to try to be serious here. I'm going to just a cozy sweatshirt kind of mood tonight. His skin crackled and peeled as it burned orange. It blackened, flaking off into dust. His entrails spilled out into a hot streaming mass when his skin and abdominal flesh burned away. Then that burned too. The muscle and fat from his limbs flared up and then fell to ash as well. There was little smoke, but the air began to smell like burning meat. A mysterious wind came and swept away the ash, and soon all that was left was one bone. That's a paragraph that just kind of came out of nowhere, and the whole book is like this in the sense that it's just really well written. The imagery is really strong. I talked about, she's walking through Africa. She's in Ghana, and we can feel like we get a sense of what this place is like. She's just talking about little things like there's broken glass on top of the gate. I can picture that kind of a neighborhood where, maybe there's walls around the houses, and then the gates have just broken glass because, maybe they're not using barbed wire, they're just using glass. And that's not uncommon in certain areas. I didn't know that about Ghana, but I've been in Central America a lot, and there's been places where, it's just typical. You see large walls, and they have the broken glass all over the top. Then she's describing another moment where there's a wall somewhere where it's splashed with, red soil. And these things don't, you don't need any of those things in the story to keep the plot and the story going, but they're just those little details. And this is a book that's less than 200 pages, I think, right? Yeah, it's less than 200 pages, and it's almost more like 150 pages. And you don't think there'd be time to get like too into the details. You kind of just have to tell the story and get it going. But there are those vivid details throughout the story, and it really helps to transport you and bring you into that beautiful country. I'm going to read another one here too. This is really cool because she's describing somebody pulls a gun at Sankofa, so I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler, but she's going to have conflicts throughout, and she has to kind of rise to the occasion, and this is where her mysticism comes into it. I'm just calling it mysticism. I feel like I could say more than that, but again, I'm really trying to like stick into that spoiler-free category and not just tell the whole plot, because again, if this book's 150 pages and you tell the plot, you're really pretty much giving a lot of the story away. This is interesting. So somebody pulls a gun on her, and just the idea of the bullet coming at her, that could be one line in another book, in a lesser writer. It's going to be one line. Shot the gun, the bullet came, she either defended herself or wasn't affected or was affected. But let me read this. Surprise and then rage rippled across his face. He raised something black in his hand. Bang! Time always slowed for her during these kinds of moments. The misty white smoke plumed from the gun's muzzle. Then the bullet, this one golden, short and dented, it flew out of the gun's muzzle, followed by a larger plume of white smoke. The bullet rotated counterclockwise as it traveled toward her. She watched this as the heat bloomed from her like a round mushroom. In times like this, it was near involuntary. So the plume of the smoke, the rotation of the bullet, we're seeing this. Like, that is the kind of language, that's the kind of way of writing a paragraph that just pulls you right into that moment. And that's an awesome thing to have this book do. Like, look at that one I read right before that, where we're talking about his entrails spilling out and then those burning up. It's such a strong, I'm going to use the word vivid again, imagery. And just one paragraph like that is enough to hook me into a book. And you can get little gems like that, and then the rest of the book is maybe not like that sometimes. It's like that all the way out throughout this book. There are some really interesting places that Sankofa travels to that are really interesting. And we also get to meet a couple of interesting characters as well. Again, she is somebody who is feared by many. She's revered maybe by some, and she's respected by other. And she doesn't fit into a neat little box of being a hero or a villain. We're sympathetic towards her. Some people will root for her and some people will not. She's not clearly a hero or a villain. There is death in this book, and she plays a part in that death. But she also has moments of empathy. And those moments of empathy, again, they don't make her a hero, but they do show that she has multiple sides to her. And whether or not she's involved in death, and to the level and the extent that she is involved in the deaths that she is around, and the control she has over that, is again another opportunity for the reader to assess, what do I think about this character? Do I like her? Am I rooting for her? Do I feel sorry for her? Am I empathetic towards her? Is she immature? Is she entitled? There's a lot of that going on in here. I think that's as much as I'm going to say about it, because I'm feeling cozy in my sweatshirt, and I'm going to go and sit and read another book. Right now I'm reading, do I have it here? Because I always get the name wrong. It's called Balzac and the Little Seamstress, and it was a gift from a friend of mine. It's really good. The reason, I know I'm supposed to be talking about this book, but it's cozy sweatshirt time. I can talk about whatever I want. This book, Balzac and the Little Seamstress, is really good, and I was about 40 pages into this when this one arrived, and I just kind of stepped away from it. Now I'm going back to it because I got through this one really quickly. And that one's really good. The reason I'm reading it is because I was telling my friend about how I was reading The Three Body Problem, which I really enjoyed. And well, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I really enjoyed it. What I really enjoyed was getting to the sequel, which was The Dark Forest, which is amazing. It's in my top 5 sci-fi, and I guess I have to give context. I read a lot of sci-fi, so to be in my top 5, it's obviously just what I think, but it was a really good book. Three Body Problem, what I really enjoyed about that was how the beginning of the book is set during the Cultural Revolution in China, and that's what I'm getting with Balzac and the Little Seamstress. It's set during that same time period, and it's not sci-fi at all, but I do recommend it as a book for anybody to read. It's a really short book. It's probably just a hair longer than this one, and so I'm going to go back to reading that one because I'd like to finish that one soon. I've got a couple more books that are coming in the next few days that are new releases, and I'd like to get to those. So my last comments on Remote Control is I recommend this book. If it didn't sound like there was anything in there for you, okay, don't get it. But if you feel like let's do it. So I don't know how I failed to record an ending to this video. I guess it was late at night, right? But hey, this is Cozy Sweatshirt Edition we're talking about here. So typical rules don't apply. So I'm going to put that ending in right now, and I think that's okay. And it's Cozy Sweatshirt Edition, so I can do whatever I want, right? Because I'm cozy, I'm wearing a sweatshirt, it's nighttime, everybody else in the house is asleep, and I'm talking about books. Exactly. So if you like the review, you think this book looks like it's worth your while, check it out. It's 160 pages. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please put on a nice warm sweatshirt and sit back with this book. Give it a read. Look at my other videos, my other reviews, and please comment in the comment section below. Thank you.